Just doing this New Year's Eve reading for myself for 2026, moving from 2025. Do my best to see what I can say here about what this means to me. I'll read it in the way I learned how to read it, and I'm sure others have, definitely read the cards differently than me, and that's okay. That's what makes life interesting. We all are growing individually and collectively at the same time. And I heard the other day about how, the differences in consciousness actually help you see, that you've grown in consciousness. Like how you can remember how you used to think when you were younger to how now you think differently in some areas. If you're older now, you could still be younger. Yeah, it's a little confusing. But you definitely can see as you grow how, your consciousness changes. And that is a reflection of the people around you. And because of the reflection of the people around you. Anyways, let's talk about these cards instead of going down the rabbit hole too deeply. Hope I'm not shaking too much. Anyways, let's move the King of Wands out the way. This is the first card. It's like where you're at in the spread. It's Celtic Cross or Celtic Cross, however you like to say it. Anyways, the Hanged Man. And he is the number. Oh. It's like the 12th card. I think so. 12th tarot card. Sometimes I still learn how to read those Roman numerals. Anyways, there he is. Kind of looks like a seed. Getting ready to lose its stem from the tree. All set to fall to the ground, possibly, and to root itself into a new tree. But still hanging on. Still learning from its last roots. Because, of course, it was part of the tree, so yeah, it's still part of the tree. In its own way. Yeah. It's going to get to, if it roots good, it'll get to look up at the tree it fell from, so to speak, and learn from that tree still. And give joy to that tree as well with its bubbling, budding roots and blooms and things. I'm sure. Okay, let's go on. Anyways, here we go. King of Wands. That is a curt card. I got that in reverse, and that is kind of like what's helping or not helping, as however you want to kind of play with the psychology here, these meanings. King of Wands, turn around. It's kind of saying to me right now that yes, you are in preparation. I'll be planted soon. You are growing and you have the capability of becoming the king of the, the grown up, the tree in bloom that's gonna give off seeds itself. And of course, it's talking about the seed that's getting ready to fall from this tree to another, to the ground to grow. And it looks like it's just saying that got a ways to go. And that's okay. Kind of like 25, 26, you know. Keep going, keep going. And up here is your what you're striving for, wanting to keep doing, you know, in the layout of this spread. What it talks about in this position for me is that it looks like, yeah, you fell from the tree, all right, and you've been growing, and you got a harvest here. And that's number 10, numero 10 wands. You might, you know, they might not all come into fruition, but they might all kind of grow and whatever, and all everything that you learn, you know, may eventually help you for sure. And so you're doing pretty good, I think. Moving on, moving up. You got some planting to do and take care of those roots. That's my recent past, Page of Swords. So verse. So it kind of speaks to me of, you know, yeah, it might be a little scary, losing your footing and everything, and kind of floating around in the clouds for a while till you gonna touch the ground again, but you gotta let go sometimes to come back down, kind of like how you heel to your toes. You're on your heel, then you go up to your tips of your toes balancing, you come back down, and there you go again. And hopes. No, this is cop outs. That's just like position of, or you might think that copping out, or that you can't succeed in some area or whatnot, and oh, that I did, nothing's ever gonna work out, but obviously it is because we're here, right? And this is kind of like a kind of just a faith kind of thing in yourself, you know. You got yourself, you know, it kind of comes together as one. You two comes together as one into one insight, and like the two eyes kind of make one vision, one, you know, projection. And you know, it's kind of, you might be a cop out that you think that you can't do this, but it also is a reminder that you can, and that it has been done. And that's kind of like one of the symbols that have been given to us from our ancestors, is somebody made that and comprehended it, and you know, and I'm still learning to comprehend it myself, but yeah, I'm thankful for the ideas that, you know, this speaks to me of. And then our immediate future is, you know, from the 10 of Wands, the hopes of the Kings of Wands, you know, that it is possible to, you know, one day get there. Sometimes we're already there in a lot of areas in our lives, and other times there's still more areas to, you know, to go through and keep learning. And that's probably every area, really, but, you know, there's always more to learn, but and that you can see that you have learned, and from that to this, it looks like that you're definitely growing. You've got more people talk about it. Yeah, looks like you might have fancier clothes, a red ribbon or fire, or not a ribbon, it's probably a feather. And your hat looking fancy. That's what you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to be, how you want to act, go for it. Got some pyramid looking shapes in the background, clear blue sky. Yeah, well on your way. But we got the King of Cups in reverse. How is that? Sometimes, get to think about, you know, I got this far. How much more, do I even really need to go or want to go on this trip? And is there going to be enough water? It looks a little bit like, where's the rain clouds? And then sometimes it's like, ooh, careful what you ask for. There might be too much rain if all the water fell at one time. I gotta kind of use it as we need it, And I guess it's osmosis. That's comes around, goes around. That water does. I have faith that it will reaches and will continue to grow. That's how I look at it. And then this is the position of the people around you, and this meaning of the spread, or what's around you. And for the door, 4 wands. And of course, this is a card of looks like celebration, a welcoming home, and all this and stuff, and groundedness, and well, when it's in reverse, it looks like could be you looking down at the kids, and looking at them and happy for them. So I'm thinking in this and celebration, and that you wouldn't, and that's what you want to see. Yeah. And that even if everything's golden all around the land, and and it is beautiful, there's still the land, and the land matters, as well as letting go and just being golden. I mean, like the sunshine. And both the seed and the tree both matter, the ground and the sky. And of course, transformation. As you go through the death card, trump card, you are planted. And the cycle begins. You could think the hangman was, the beginning of death and rebirth. And so is the death card. But now, having gone through rooting and everything, and now it's time to come up out of the ground and begin again. And now, you went from the Page of Wands to the Knight of Pentacles. From the night, the darkness, letting go, comes the brightness again. And you have a new seed that is growing into the to fruition. And you're looking out, and now all you've learned and grown through, and now it's this new seed's turn to forge the land, to grow into the big tree that it fell from being the hangman, being planted again, and now a new destination, new dreams. The Page of Wands, then he had a horse. Yeah, he had to go through all this. floating about. And now here he's got a horse. Now he gets to choose a little bit what to do with that coin. That knowledge, all that he learned through that journey. Just wish him luck. Her luck. Of course, energies are interwoven.